hold on. Welcome to Albion TV presents the AO Daily Show, your source of real news in an unreal world, keeping you up to date on the latest news, events, and the great community of Albion Online. Today is Monday, the 25th of November, and I am your host, Shozen. And with me today, as always, except for on Friday, my co-host, Bogul. How are you doing today, Bogul?
Good morning, good morning. I'm doing quite okay. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I just realized I forgot to turn on the mic a little while ago. I had to repress that button, and let's get you over to here. We should be at normal volumes now. Sorry, guys.
Well, it's Monday. It is one of these days where we look at the last week, since it's the topic of what we do on Mondays. We look at the last week in Albion today, but we also do have a little bit of community news on today's show, and we will take a tiny peek at the season rankings, I think.
Yeah, we'll take a quick look because we want to be able to look at these at the beginning of the season, keep them, in records for at the end of the season when we come back and look and see how much things have changed. And maybe do what we did last time, where we looked at the GVGs for the first few days. We might have to do that again on Wednesday. Get a 10-day look at the GVG situation from both last season and this season. See if the trend still continues. But first, Bogul, we've got big news. We've got big news right here in-house right now. Bogul, I'm going to go hit some buttons and show people the big news. Are you ready?
It's big news for the Twitch stream, I would say.
Yeah, I guess it's not huge news for...
I have to curb your enthusiasm a little bit. But these are very pretty. We do have new emotes. Finally, we have selected the first few winners of our Twitch emote contest.
Mm-hmm.
We had this ongoing for a little while already, and now we finally selected, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in total.
Yep.
And everybody will receive 30 days of premium for the effort they put in supplying us with these very nice emotes. And you can use them.
If you subscribe, you can use them, but we don't encourage you to subscribe. It's just for the people who tend to do it anyway. We wanted to give them something. There are, I don't know, like a dozen of you who just consistently subscribe for no reason, even though I tell you, you don't need to do it. But I do really thank you because it shows how much you guys, care about the show. So let's talk about some of these emotes real quick. The big clap, Buena Bun. I think that's how you say that, right? Yeah, I'm going to go with that. That's my guess. That's the big clap emote. Very nice. Like it. We have Mishireen with the Albion Rat. We like that one. It was edited over time. I like that she, changed things around, made it a bit more universal for the entire Albion community, because I feel like the Hellgate one maybe was a little too specific. We have a lot more ratting going on than just in Hellgates. Then we have, let's see, Skis, I'm going to go with. SCYZ, Skis, and the Albion Judy Boots. We have much need for Judy Boot spamming, guys, and it just, at the end of the show, I expect people to hit the boots so that we can put on the music, and it's pretty good. But I have to say, this next one makes me really happy. Fujira, I'm going to go with here, the Albion Mammoth. The guy had edited it 4 times, I think, maybe 3. Really to change it to something that we wanted more. When it first came out, it just looked like an elephant. It wasn't really what we wanted, but he did a really fantastic job listening to our thoughts on it and changed it to look more mammothy, and now I'm super, super happy with it.
Yes, I think that guy, Fujira, is actually in-game running under the name Untitled. That might be... a more well-known name to some of you.
Ah, yes.
I think we have some video that we want to show later during the show as a sort of community shout-out to him.
Yeah.
Since he made a cool thing.
Yeah, he's been very busy recently. We'll give him that much. So let's look back at last week now. I think it's time, Bogul. Last week on Monday, do you know what we did?
We look back at the previous week.
Yes, it's the same thing we do every Monday, Bogle. We try to take over the world by giving you the events of last week on Mondays. And then on Tuesday, we had some different take on things. We usually do a newbie Tuesday with the idea of giving information to new players to kind of help them in their path on Albion. However, on Tuesday, we thought, you know what? We've got this really big content update coming out, and we're currently in a weird phase right now with parts of that content update out and in a testing phase, really. The ZVZ debuff is currently still in flux for sure. And
so you called the Albion invasion season a testing season?
I did. We're testing a few things, but I wanted to put it into the context of we're about to see the largest changes to Albion since beta. And we've never had anything this major happen on the live server before. We went back and looked at some of the things that have changed because there's been a lot. We had a whole lot of things that changed over the last 2 years. And we went over that just to put this new one in context. And then talked about kind of how, I don't know, like this new one will change the world for newer players in a way that the old Outlands didn't. I really feel this will have more of a beta 1, beta 2 feel where people lived at home, and that will be good for newer players too, because as soon as they join a guild, they will be moving to the Outlands, into a hideout somewhere where they get to impact like the actual PvP world in some way, which I feel has been stifled for 2 years. We also had a bit of news. We had our first Outlands report.
Oh, yeah. I read a little bit of that on Monday. It seems to be sort of a RP piece written from the perspective of the seasoned adventurer Rex the Red, who reports on strange goings on in the Outlands. Going on.
There's a lot of things going on. There was a lot of strangeness in this world.
But not only does this, I think it's a cool read. It's a nice change of content that we have, because we don't get too many lore pieces, I feel like. 100%. And it comes with a few very nice concept art pieces that are also just pretty to look at.
Yeah, so. I agree. The concept art was very cool. I also really like the idea of having more people participate in this game's lore. Something we used to see a lot more of when there was the Tell Your Own Stories forum was active. I don't seem to remember it being active lately. I could be wrong because I don't go there as much, but it just doesn't seem as active as it once was. Let's see, what else was there? On Tuesday, we also had Tazik over. That was big. We had Tazik come join us for Albion Live. We watched some GVGs. It was pretty good. Then on Wednesday, we did that early season war report we talked about before, and how we compared the first few days of this season with last season, season 7, in the first few days of season 7. And we were kind of surprised to see that the numbers were kind of positive towards this season. There was slightly more GVGs, and by slightly I mean like 7 more. And then there were significantly more Crystal GVGs, but also significantly more guilds GVGing in general. And that was very interesting to see. And we took a look at that, and we're going to probably take a look at that again on Wednesday unless they drop a surprise patch on us.
Yes. We compared the first 3 days, and you said it had more GVGs, and I think the number was about 200 something, 220 or so, and crystals were almost at 300 in the first 3 days of the season. If you want to look at the Monday show as well, we can the Wednesday show. You can see the images there, and then we ended the day with Albion Live again with Lupac. Did some nice shotcasting, and I think it's a good start into the season, and it's just begun. There are some things that will come up soon-ish that should be interesting, but I can't wait to talk about these, but we can't today.
There's Bogle. You're teasing me. Then we had, of course, more Albion Live. Yeah, we did that with Lupac. He came in. We had some good matches. We got to see, I think the GVG we watched on Wednesday, I can't remember if it was Wednesday or Thursday, but one of those two GVGs was absolutely just so close that we got to watch live. It was just like down to the very last second. It was great to watch. I really enjoyed that. Then we had Thursday, and this was kind of a big day for us. We did a lot of market watch on this. We talked a bit about the economy. We saw the gold dropping down for the first time in a while, actually having I feel like it was a significant gold drop. We can go look at that right now. Oh my gosh, today it is in flux. Guys, get on the market. You can make gold when it goes up and down like this. Holy cow, Bogul, I didn't even look at this nonsense.
Well, it's still going down a little bit more since we looked at it Thursday.
Well, actually on Thursday, we're right about where we were on Thursday right now. It did go up a little bit towards the weekend again, but like only by like 100 silver, not a significant amount. And now we're pretty much back down. Well, if you look right now, no, but earlier, yeah, 3,200. That's pretty low. I still do see that we're going to be going down. That's still my expectation. Yeah, I do think we're going to continue to see it go down all the way right up into Queen, and then we're going to have, I feel, a significant drop on Queen, and in the few days following that, and then we will see the return of what we call the speculator. As soon as it gets to a certain drop point, you're going to see people just go like, "Nope, I'm in. This is my point. This is my number where I'm buying back." Because at that point, you don't know how long it's going to continue to go down, and you want to be the first people to get in there before it, goes. But yeah, that will happen somewhere around 26, I'm guessing.
I'm always careful with giving any sort of opinion on what I think gold will do. I said it many times in the past. I got burnt a little bit once or twice, and since then I just watch the spectacle from the sidelines, and sometimes gamble a few 100 mil on this, but no, I don't really engage with this. Now, we also talked about the development of Avalonian Energy on Thursday, where we saw it starting to trade the week before at about 20K. It went down to as much as 7K last Thursday. And we expect that trend to continue a little bit more for the Avalonian Energy. We also spent a little bit of time looking at labor contracts, how these have been doing, TLDR, not a lot of volume. And I talked very briefly about this roundtable thing that I mentioned. That was a tiny meeting about the economy of Albion that sort of happened in the background. This actually happened last Friday, but as I was told, I can't really report on it too much. What I know is that they are looking at maybe doing a summary, but that's all I have for now. Basically, we did a little bit of giving feedback and suggestion to the devs, and I know somebody wrote a bunch of pages of feedback that I think right now goes into the internal process of looking at this. Maybe post-Queen? Question mark?
Yeah, I've got that feeling. I honestly, just if you're gonna, we're gonna do a little bit of a speculation, and I love to speculate, as you know. I don't think we'll see anything come from this until long after Queen. This seems like the very beginning phases of making new, bigger changes. Like one of the things Robin talked about when we interviewed him was that they want to spend more time on each content patch and deliver more in each patch, while also making sure that each patch is just tighter. Like it does what it's intended to do better than when they were turning them around really fast. And so I really see this as, like you said, this is they just put it into the thought bucket right now. What's going on? Let's look into this bucket. Let's get these ideas and start looking for the best ones, the ones that we can actually make happen. Because that's what a lot of this is going to come down to. Can they deliver on these ideas? Like, you can have the best idea in the world, but if you can't make that idea happen, then it's not great. It's not going to happen, you know?
Yeah. And as I always say, after a patch is before a patch. So I think we sort of had the Avalonian invasion season just starting. In my mind, that is sort of a bigger patch that they just went through. And now it's again time to put down the pen and go like, all right, let's brainstorm a little bit. What can we see? What can we do? And then put this into action over the next few months because, Queen is not the end of the world, and
No, it's just.
Oh wait, actually, it is.
Well, yeah, no, it's the beginning. It's the beginning of the world.
Right.
When,
but there have to be more things after, and yeah, why not start now?
Yeah, the invasion season, I believe, is the end of the world. I believe the world ends during this season, and then it comes out on the 20. Like there should be a new one come the Queen invasion. Well, Queen patch, and we will get to see a bright, shiny new thing that we get to destroy, which is kind of awesome. I'm into it.
Yeah.
And the part of it I'm most into is that I really feel this new map is going to encourage people to live where they have their home, like in the Outlands, not live out of cities anymore, which I feel is if I was to look at one thing over the last 2.5 years that I could change, like if I could just change one thing about Albion, I would say people live in the cities. I don't like that. That's fine for World of Warcraft. That is not good for a war game. We are a war game where you're supposed to have like lines of war, lines of battle, like different fronts that you fight against. And you should always feel like you need to protect that. And that was gone with the current living in the city situation. And I really hope to see that return. I'm very excited to see it like change. And I don't think people are going to live in the cities in the Outlands, like those 3 cities out there. I just don't think that's where they're going to live.
I think calling them cities might be an issue. I think we should call them trading posts.
Trading posts.
Because they are basically a bank chest and a marketplace and a safe zone, and I think that's it. So there's calling them cities is a little bit of
they're outposts. They're not cities. They're out. They just have on the map right now. They have the city icon. So I'm what can you do? But I'm really looking forward to people living in the Outlands once again. One of the things that we did, now we didn't mention this earlier because I think we started doing it on Wednesday, right? On Wednesday, we actually did a hide and seek event, right? Wasn't that when they started?
Oh, yeah.
Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we did hide and seek. Actually, I think we even did it on Tuesday, didn't we? Because we first gave away the fishing pole.
Yes. We've got gracious people from the community sponsoring some nice Avalonian tools and later on even some tier 8 gathering gear. And we did a little bit of find the Shozen one, find the hidden guy.
We looked for Bogul.
Dangerous world.
One day. We looked for Bogul one day. He was found very quickly.
Too quickly. So we ramped it up, and then Shozen tried to hide in Astolat, and then suddenly somebody said, well, that's a desert zone. There's T5, obviously it's Astolat. How are you? What are you even trying? This is so obvious because it's the only zone that has T5 and it's desert. And we're like, oh. And then what did you
The hive mind is far too smart is what the situation is. I went to the black zone, Bogul, and I went to just a castle tile and then made people find me. I think it was.
And of course, the people were
Limehurst
from Conflict.
No, Limehurst is a city. What is it? Something that started with L.
Ludicrous town.
Yes.
Chat says we didn't shout out the people. I think we have to shout out the people.
Oh, well, yeah. First it was Fun Stealer had all the tools, right? And who was it? I want to say it was it Pando?
Pando Baron.
Pando Baron, yeah. Pando Baron gave us the sets. So thank you to, Lickendell. Thank you, Fun Stealer. Yeah. Lickendell. One of the greatest named zones of all time. But Funstealer and Pando gave us stuff, and we gave that away all week. And then on Thursday, I asked the audience because I said, Bogul is not going to be here tomorrow. I need to interview somebody. Anybody at all? Can I interview any of you at all? And one of you stepped forward. That was Cable, a brand new player who watched the show for the first time that day, and then won gold, and then accepted an interview, and I interviewed him that night, and we talked about how just Care Bear Albion Online is, and just how he thinks it's just incredibly easy, and that it's not cutthroat at all. And then he explained to me that he hasn't left the blue zone yet, so he's in for a change of pace in the next couple of days. I explained to him that it was going to be different in the rest of his world. The dude did get a little roasted here in chat, but he did win 2 raffles in 2 days, so the guy, should be pretty happy. And
were you desperate for content on Friday?
Yes, I was just me. Now, here's the thing: is this is where it got interesting. After the interview, people were very upset that I didn't do Fan Fiction Friday.
Oh, I would have been upset too.
Yeah. They wanted Fan Fiction Friday, so I took some questions from the audience afterwards, and I believe we went over who the old kings of Albion were, like the Derek and the King Mojo and Syndic and Gluttony, and then to a lesser extent some of the barons, if you were, and Torthor and Kantos and such. So,
that sounds interesting though. Okay.
And we have confirmed that we do not show any NA GVGs because we are clearly both very biased against the Americas, both South and North. We believe the time zones are far too late in the day for normal human beings to record or be awake. So us old people like to be in bed by then.
It's like 3 a.m., right?
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculously late for you by then, and I don't know. I should start recording some of them, though. I might try to do some... In the future, we're going to have some changes to the show. And Bogul and I have been discussing that at length over the last month because we are aware that we have to change things up when ZVZs become the norm for territory taking. And we don't want to just cover one time zone with that. That would not be really good because it's a world. The difference between covering the GVGs that occur at one time zone and the ZVZs that would occur at one time zone is we'd really end up only covering a select few members of the world if we just did them at one time.
Yeah, we're still trying to figure out how to do this best, and also how to do best show ZVZs and how to avoid giving away tactical information while still making informative or interesting content without having too much of a delay, because then you have some interaction issues. But we have some ideas, and I think towards the end of this season we will try out some of these because we will get a lot more invasions. We will see a lot more ZVZ action towards the end of the season, towards January, and then we will have a few days to try out some of these things when it's time. I just looked at the time shows, and we have a few more shoutouts to do today.
Okay.
And do a very brief look at the season rankings before we hit the 13-minute mark. I wanted to give a brief shout out to the winner, to one of the winners of the emote contest, because he also made a special video that is apparently a 20 versus 20 warbow only sort of event. I think you have to mute the sound.
Yeah, I already muted it. It started playing in the background as soon as I picked it up.
But essentially, as far as I understand, Untitled got his 39 best friends together, and they all equipped warbows and just started shooting each other. Everybody has slightly different setups, but you just zoomed away from
Yeah, I know what happened. I ended up putting on the Albion game instead of the video that was on. I fixed it.
Yeah, and then it's from the perspective of Untitled, and it looks like a lot of fun. It reminds me a little bit of the Quake 3 mod, I think Instagib, but it's definitely a recommendation to view. That's one of the community videos we wanted to share today. Let me get a link for you. Boop. And then we have 2 videos that we want to show as well, or at least briefly mention, because I personally am afraid that they will nerf it soon.
Yeah, I think it's gonna. Yeah, I believe it too. So we saw 2 really good videos for archer farming.
Explain archer farming.
So there are Avalonian archers out there in the world, guys, and they are very good for the fame and the energy, the Avalonian energy. They are pretty much the best fame per hour that you can get as a solo. Like incredibly better than what you can get in another way. We're hearing between 2 and 1.6 million fame per hour. That's a lot.
Yeah. And we have Captain Russia and Lupac doing one video each that we showed today. We know that Retroman is looking at the balance of both the acolytes and the Avalonian archers, but there's no confirmed details what they plan on doing exactly with them. Just in case you see that today, you might, and you are really into that solo farming, maybe you can get some expertise there and abuse it. No, I mean use it while it's still possible. Yeah.
Yeah, get in on it now. Do it for as long as you can. To me, this reminds me of when the guards in beta were really high fame targets, and everybody was running to get those as fast as they could before they were nerfed. Definitely go for it.
I mean, in theory, Wednesday is sort of one of the favorite patch days of SPI. So usually on Wednesdays we see patches. There is, however, nothing on the test server, nothing noted anywhere. It could be that this stays a little while, but who knows? Who knows? Yeah, and to end this today, I think we have to do a very brief look at the season rankings just at the beginning of week 2 of the Avalonian Invasion season, because it has changed quite a bit from last week when we looked at it only 3 days after the season went live. Are you going to show it on screen?
Nope. I'm sorry. What did you want me to put up there? I was chatting. You caught me. You caught me. Okay, I'll get the season rankings. I will get out today's season's rankings. You caught me not paying attention, Bogul. I was definitely. Wow. Fun Stealer says that his group was the first one to get to the guards in beta. Remember the guards in beta? Now he says his group was the first one, and I had to remind him that while he may have been there first, Vendetta was there last. Yeah.
Season rankings, yes.
Yeah, I got those.
So as of today, Monday, the 25th of November, we see different groups in the very beginning, the very front of the rankings. We see Arrow 404, followed by Money Guild, followed by Dynastia, and followed by Ecstasis. The Arrow 404 has 26k points right now. Money Guild 22k, Dynastia 21k. Last week we looked at them and they barely crossed like the 3k mark, I think. So that's an interesting, good pace. And did you expect Arrow 404 to be in first place, Shozen?
Not really, honestly. I'm impressed that they've done it. They deserve a victory. They have been very consistent for a very long time. They haven't played the same political games as others. They, I don't know. They deserve a victory at this point. If they can keep it going, and they have everything in place to do it, but I don't see why they couldn't do it. I think they could do it. I'm actually really impressed, honestly, with both Dynastia and Ecstasis, who have been able to keep up the point flow as well and keeping up with Money Guild. If you're right around Money Guild, you're doing very well. The fact that Arrow 404 is ahead of them, that's impressive. It's very impressive. And, they keep it up. They deserve the win. I don't know if they'll get it. There's a lot of time left.
Fun fact, Arrow 404 is the only member of their alliance. And Money Guild has, I think right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 members, including an alt guild. Dynastia and Familia, I think, both have 4 guilds in their alliance. So they have to deal with alliance sharing their points. And Arrow 404, maybe they're doing a better job because they are really active and don't have to share? Question mark? I don't know. We have to keep an eye on this. And would like to hear others' opinions on
Well,
on
here's
this, by the way.
here's one thing, Bogul, and we could talk about this real quick. I would love to talk about it with Tazik or Lupak around as well, but there's the changes to healing coming up. And that really, really could have a huge impact on Arrow 404 because, like I said, they've been very consistent, but they've been consistently running one build. Well, not one build, a variation on a build. Like they've had variations on the same theme of 2 healers, and they've kind of changed their DPS a couple of times. But this change to healers could really, really hurt them. I don't know how impactful it's going to be until we see it in a 5v5.
What change are you talking about? Just for the people?
Okay, so they're going to change it from a percentage-based healing sickness, like it does more healing sickness when you have 2 healers healing the same target, to instead leave the healing sickness on for a time duration instead. So it'll go for like 5 seconds, which means you can't do things like wait for seed to pop and, do some of the crazy combinations that would allow you to get multiple big heals on a target right away just because I don't want to say just because, but because you overlapped, you rotated correctly. They were using a healing rotation and doing very good at rotating to make sure that they didn't get hit with the healing sickness very often. But now the way that it does for 5 seconds, if you're healed within 5 seconds, you get that healing sickness. That's going to make it impossible. What I'm really concerned about, though, is not just the effect on Arrow 404 and dual healing, but what does this do in ZVZs when you have multiple healers healing the tank? So it's going to be interesting.
I'm not concerned. I'm looking forward to it. And of course, I posted the link in chat. It's we are talking about some of the proposed in testing balance changes that are currently being in place tests that are from a thread from the general forums where Retroman regularly posts the test changes, so everybody has a fair chance of sort of guessing the next meta, whether or not that will impact the market on certain items or not, or just to gather more feedback on these. Yeah. Of course, also we have some shoutouts to the other guilds that are in the top 10. We have in 5th place June, 6th place War God, 7th place Phrasing, 8th place Black Order, 9th place Skoyatel, and 10th place Zorn.
That's changed.
It did?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so Zorn overtook Skoyatel by 100 points. All right. Okay, I have a screenshot of this.
Yeah, I know. It's like things change like minute to minute. And look how far behind Blue Army is. They're way back down here at 11th. It's like they're down here with Sun.
Yeah. I mean,
Doesn't look like they're going to win this season.
tell them to do something more. Or people will look at their guild logo and go, wait, how do you have 3 crowns or 3 gems?
3 gems, yeah. It doesn't look like they're going for... Like right now, if the season ended today, the statues inside Carleon would be Dynastia, a guild that just formed, Money Guild, who I gotta say they would deserve it, and Arrow 404, who they don't have any statues downstairs, but they'll have one in the city if they win. So yeah, that'll be impressive. We'll have new statues around, and everybody will get a carpet. And you get a carpet, and you get a carpet, and you get a carpet. All right, let's give away some raffles and get out of here, Bogul. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we go? Anything in particular?
Yes. When are you not here this week?
Thanksgiving, the 28th of November. It's a Thursday, and I'm going to be eating lots of food, and I might go into a food coma and miss Friday. But there's a good chance I won't. I haven't done that in a long time. I've made it every time. But you know who hasn't made it, Bogul? I have not gotten a single message from anybody who won the raffle today.
Oh. So we have one more to give away in overtime then, or?
Well, we can give a couple more away in overtime, but we'll announce these people in overtime too. But you guys can check us out Monday through Friday, right here, except for this Thursday, because I won't be here, at 18 UTC, twitch.tv/Albion Online. And then you can listen to us later on SoundCloud or watch us later on YouTube /AlbionTV. And we try to do 3 days a week of live GVGs. However, that's not happening this week, Bogul. Do you know why?
Oh, no. Why?
Lupak moved to Saudi Arabia.
What?
Yes.
I think that's a lie.
Yep. He's in Saudi Arabia. No, he is. He's there right now. Yeah.
Okay.
For football?
Wait.
Yeah.
Lupak is doing a career as a soccer caster now?
Yes.
Wow. Well, okay.
Yeah. Lupak is...
Will we get him back at some time? Or
he comes back on Sunday. He comes back on Sunday unless they decide to keep him. I don't know. They have a lot of money.
I mean, hopefully he didn't smuggle beer and can't go out.
They have an island right down the road for that.
I don't want to get into it. Never mind. Okay, yes. So no Lupak on Wednesday and Thursday, correct? And we see Tazik on Tuesday then?
Well, we'll see Tazik on Tuesday, and he's going to see if he can't come on Wednesday as well and try to make that show. He doesn't know if he's going to make it or not, so we will see.
Okay.
On Wednesday. We'll know for sure. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, and we will be back in just a couple of minutes with the overtime segment of the show where we'll just talk to you guys.
Okay.